welcome to another frivolous webisode. So today is my makeup favorites for 2022. This is the final roundup, and these are products that I've tried throughout this year, not necessarily were launched this year because, you know, I can't get a hold of lots of the launches fresh out of the gate, and that have really stood out for me and that really worked for me, that I really loved and used time and time again throughout the year. And I tried to remember what I was loving in the spring and summertime, which is something that I sometimes struggle with. When I get to the wintertime, I forget what I was using. But yeah, if you notice anything missing, maybe ask me about it in the comments and I will let you know if I've actually forgotten it or I just didn't love it enough to keep it in this roundup, because, you know, I talk a lot. There are plenty of products here, so some of them had to be set aside for this selection. They're not necessarily bad products, they just didn't make it to the cut, you know? So let's jump into that. First things first, foundation. I've tried a couple of foundations this year. I was kind of very well behaved in terms of foundations, although I haven't tackled decluttering my foundations. I've been quite peaceful regarding the FOMO of foundations. I've been really loving the ones that I already have and have had for a couple of years, so that's good. And the one that stood out for me this year was one, and I have tried a couple others that I really like, but this was the one that I really wanted to talk about again. It's the Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation. I have an up close and personal on this one if you want to see how it works for me. I'm wearing it today. Although it says soft glow, I'd say this is a demi-matte foundation. It's not mattifying, it's not drying, but it doesn't have any sort of actual dewy glow to it, which I was quite surprised actually. But I would say the best comparison I can give to you, this is very comparable to the Lisa Eldridge foundation, although this one has more coverage off the bat. The biggest difference for me is that one. Also, the shade range, I struggled a lot to find a shade match within the Hourglass shade range. The Lisa Eldridge for me was really easy to find, and they have those olive undertones which I adore. This has a bit more coverage, and because of that, it delivers for me the type of coverage that I want, a bit quicker and without risking, like with the Lisa Eldridge, sometimes I did risk the fact that it could become slightly cakey, or it started to look a bit heavy on some areas because of, you know, layering it. And this one I don't feel that, because it already has some higher coverage off the bat which I can shear down. For me that's really easy to do, and it works beautifully. This also sets to basically you can't feel it on your face. It's like you have nothing on the skin, which is amazing. People with dry skin may differ, but I really like that on this foundation. The Lisa Eldridge one does set also, but I feel that it starts to break down with the oils of my skin quicker than this one, and it starts to transfer when I touch my skin, maybe to blot or something. I notice quite a bit of pigment coming off, and with this one a lot less. So this is a lot more long wearing for me than the Lisa Eldridge. Still love that one though, don't get me wrong, but this is a great launch from 2022. Regarding concealers, the Dior Backstage concealer is amazing. It's a light coverage, I would say, a concealer, and it gets the job done. It's really nice and creamy on the skin without being oily, but it feels nourishing, especially underneath the eyes. I have mine in 2WO. Dior Backstage also has an amazing olive undertone shade range, which I really appreciate. And yeah, it's a light to medium coverage concealer. I don't feel like I can build this up a lot, but when I want a light coverage, this is the one that I go for. I use something else for my blemishes. The other one, this is very similar to the Dior Backstage actually. It's the NYX Bear With Me concealer. I got to try it this year. I really like it. It's a similar texture. It's very creamy, lightweight. It's easy to apply. It has a light to medium coverage, maybe a tinge more coverage than with the NYX one, and it's delightful to apply. Again, creamy without being oily, without settling into the fine lines. It gives you just that everyday coverage without too much of a faff, and I've really enjoyed using it. Next up, let's go into cheeks, and I have several products here. I don't have any bronzer actually, but I have several blushes. Let's start with the first launch of the year, I think, that I've tried, at least. It's the Danessa Myricks Dewy Cheek and Lip Palette. This is in Do It Undercover, this color story. And my favorite, as you may have noticed, is the Hush Hush color, which is this one here. I don't know how the camera is picking it up, but this is a very beautiful nudie color for the cheeks. This has good coverage, very easy to blend, and it is dewy on the skin. It's a bit like their balm, highlighting balms, but it's a bit thinner in terms of tackiness. It stays tacky on the skin, but for me that's not a concern because I wear my hair up most of the time. So it's beautiful. I can mix colors, super easy to wear because you can just dot it on the skin. It doesn't lift the foundation underneath, which is amazing, and it gives you that juicy, dewy cheek glow for when you feel like that, and I love it. Next up, these I discovered this year also, and I got really carried away with the colors because the colors with these are so special. These are the Armani Neo Nude Melting Color Bombs, and you can use these on the eyes and lip and cheeks. And I love the color selection. These are very original and different colors, and I really like that. These are muted, desaturated, but you can apply them to the cheeks and you can notice how they build up really easily. They are kind of a cream to powder formula, but they're not patchy. They are just beautiful and they shear down really easily. The thing I would say with these, be careful if you have lots of texture on this area of the cheeks. It may not be a favorite. I don't mind that, and I really like the watercolory almost effect that it gives onto the cheeks, and you can build them up on the eyes, and they're amazing eyeshadows also. Super luxurious, and I've loved using these, and you can mix them with a highlighter, create a liquid highlighter and stuff, so they're really gorgeous. Speaking of cream highlighters, segue, this is the one that I want to talk about this year. This is the Vision Flush Highlighter by Danessa Myricks. It's the color Tiara, which is the only one I think they have. And this is a very special formula. First, I like that it comes in a smaller packaging, in a smaller amount, because it's a liquid. It's going to go bad. So unless it's your only highlighter or your only liquid product, you'll probably see it go bad before you are able to use it up. But then the main thing with this is the texture. This is kind of almost a gel kind of formula that you blend onto the skin, and it looks absolutely phenomenal on the cheeks. It has a bit of a pearlescence to it, a bit of, you know, pigment to it, but it's just super dewy and not too metallic reflective on the skin. It's just healthy skin on the go. You can mix it with your foundation and stuff like that. And I've recently done a declutter and was swatching this, and this is waterproof. I had to take out my my washcloth and use a makeup cleansing balm to remove this. So this stays, and it doesn't feel too sticky. It does kind of set after a bit on the skin, and it just gives you that dewy glow. It's gorgeous, and if you're not into the balms, the duet balms from Danessa Myricks, this is a good one to try if you're into that stuff. Still within the highlighter, cheek, blusher, Natasha Denona, My Dream Cheek Trio. This for me was a great launch this year. and I've been really enjoying all three products from this launch. You have a blusher, which is kind of a cream to powder. It's a very thin, creamy powder, I'd say. This is a cream, the center highlighter, and then you have a powder, which is also a creamy powder, almost putty-like, to mix and match, and you can use them on their own or mix with each other, and they are amazing. They give you a beautiful glow, again, not too metallic or highlight, you know, that kind of that effect that we all moved past, or most of us. I'm not judging, but if you're into a more natural highlighting effect, but still with a bit of, if you have oily skin, if you just like to wear powders and stuff like that, these highlighters are really good. Even the cream, it doesn't feel sticky or anything on your skin. It's amazing. And the blusher color is gorgeous. It's called, no, it's just called Cream Blush because maybe there's a name, but I can't read it right now, so pardon me. So, cheeks are done. Let's jump into the eyes, which is the biggest category. You know I have a soft spot for eye products. Let's start with the, I would call them the one and done everyday eye products. The first ones were not the most recent release from Lisa Eldridge, but the previous one, the Liquid Lurex eyeshadows. And she came out with a beigey color and a dark chocolate color. The beige has lots of high shine, which I really love. And again, these Liquid Lurex are amazing. You just tap them on the eyes, blend them out with your fingers. If you want to blend the edges with a clean brush, you're good to go. Even this chocolatey color, which is deeper, you can do that same thing and you get a very easy smoky eye on the go. These are very beautiful. They have that metallicness to them. The lighter one, I'll put the names on the screen because I can't read them right now. But this lighter one is very high shine, which I adore because I like to have almost a glossy eyelid, you know, but something that lasts throughout the day and doesn't look too messy. These are amazing for that. I would say regarding longevity, these may start to crease halfway through the day, but for me they're really easy to blend in with my fingers and they're back in shape, so I can't complain about that, and they don't fade that much on me, so I really like this formula, the Liquid Lurex. The other one is the one that I finally got my hands on after so much hype. This is Space Cowboy by Urban Decay, and this is a wonderful topper or an eyeshadow to wear on its own. This is not liquid, but this is glass. It's impressive, super impressive in terms of a shadow. I have something in my collection that is very similar. Let me show you, or two things. One is a little quirky from Colourpop. You know, it's my favorite Super Shock shadow, and that one gives a very similar effect with a bit more of a base color. This is more sheer, although it does have a peachy base color in it, and you can see it if you build it up. And the other one is from the Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette, the original one. I love this. Is still my favorite palette, my favorite mini palette from her. And the first shade here, this one, is very similar. It gives you that dewy, wet glow on the eyes. I haven't seen anyone talk about this specific color. So if you have that Natasha Denona palette, maybe you don't need to go and get Space Cowboy, but it's a wonderful, wonderful eyeshadow. Again, one and done. This mascara, you're good out the door, and I love it for it. Now, still within the one and done, but playful and happy colors, I have these, and I'm talking about the 24-hour eye sticks from Mina and the 24-hour automatic eye pencils, also from Mina. This shade range, the colors on this are amazing, super playful, very bright for the summertime. The sticks especially are phenomenal. You swipe them on your lids, you have a bit of time to blend them and really put them where you want them in the amount that you want them, and then they set and they lock down. They do not budge. They are great as bases, but they work on their own also. And being able to do just one line on your eyes with these eyeshadow, with these eye pencils, and have that pop of color is so easy, and one of my favorite go-to summer looks is to just do that. Just one line of a bright color on the eyes and mascara. Another formula that I really enjoyed was these Cupid's Arrow, is it? Cupid's Arrow eye pencils or sticks from Nabla. Also a beautiful formula. I feel these are slightly creamier to the touch than the Mina ones. The Mina ones feel just a tad drier. It's not that they're gonna drag or anything like that, but these are slightly different formulas. Also, these stay a bit more nourishing on the eyes. I'd say if you have drier eyes, you may gravitate towards these a bit more, and if you have oilier lids, you may want the Mina ones. But again, they're very similar overall, and for me, it comes up to the colors that they offer and picking and choosing the colors that I love. So these were amazing this summer. I use them as bases or on their own, and they're just unbelievable. Before we jump into the eyeshadow palettes and the other special shades that I have here, let's talk about the mascara of the year. And yes, my friends, I found something to dethrone my Clinique Lash Power mascara, which is my favorite tubing mascara. I got myself in a pickle here though, because I think that Cult Beauty doesn't sell this, not at this moment, which is really weird. It's the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara, I think that's the name. This is incredible, and I'm in love. I had someone in my life that went to the US recently, and I placed an order on Sephora for them to pick it up and bring it for me. And I was able to try a few things that are only sold in the US at Sephora that I can order here. And this mascara is amazing. It's what I'm wearing on my eyes right now. It gives me what I feel I need to build up with the lash mascara. I can get to this effect, but I need to build it up. This one, it's right off the bat, lots of impact, fluttery, thick lashes without clumping them. So that's, for me, it's perfection, and I'm thoroughly in love. The thing is, Cult Beauty hasn't kind of updated their Tower 28 catalog. I don't know why. And I'm kind of fearful that they're not going to have this mascara in a couple of months when I use it up. And then what's going to happen to my life? I'm going to be desperate, my friends, desperate. But anyway, and this isn't too crazy expensive. So another point, I hope it comes to Europe. Don't know. But solve that, Cult Beauty, because I found a new favorite mascara. If not, I still have my Clinique. I still have my Clinique. The Lash Power though, the high impact tubing mascara, the new one, it's crap. It just stayed very liquidy. It just did nothing for my lashes. It was really crappy. Why did they launch that? I don't know. Now let's talk about eyeshadows. And this is going to be a bit long, but I'm going to try to behave. Let's start with the special shades. So the individual eyeshadows that you can get in singles, that really made my world. And the first thing I have to talk to you about, please ignore these ones in this corner because I didn't have the time to take them out of the palette. These are all Glam Shop. And my friends, these eyeshadows are so good. I know nobody's talking about them. Why should I care? You're nobody on the internet, yada, yada, yada. But if you are looking for high impact, high shine eyeshadows that don't cost you an arm and a leg, or that don't come one or two in a 120 euro palette, if you know what I mean, maybe you could give these a go, because Glam Shop has really taken the special shade type of formula and made it amazing. These are the marble something. I will have the name on the screen and listed in my blogs as usual. But this formula is absolutely amazing for high shine glossy lids, be it as I have them here in kind of very neutral colors, or with they have also duochromes and stuff like that, so you can explore their website. They also have mattes. I haven't tried those yet, but they also have those. But these are the ones that I hands down recommend trying out. Their high impact shiny eyeshadows, both in bold colors, duochromes and neutrals. These are phenomenal. If you're wondering, this golden blue here, when you mix it, it's a black, a glossy black. Yes. So yeah, I have two Cliona eyeshadows here that I have ordered when there was the Black Friday sale, I think, or the most recent launch. I don't know. I really like them also, but I want to give a shout out to Glam Shop, because everybody knows Cliona. If you're into indie eyeshadows, nobody knows Glam Shop, and these are damn good. Next up, With Love Cosmetics. You've seen this in action in a video recently, and these are pressed glitters. These are so easy to apply, you would never believe it. You just pick them out with your finger, slide them across your lid, and they just stay there. They have a binder in them that doesn't flake all over your face. You can use a base and a glitter glue and all that. I'll always recommend for these high shine special shades to use a glitter glue, because come on. But this, can we just scream a little bit? It's so beautiful. Love it, love it. Now, let's talk about eyeshadow palettes. I have a brand and two specific palettes to talk about. So let's talk with the first palette that touched my heart this year, which is the Natasha Denona pastel palette. I know nobody's talking about this anymore. It won't be on many people's favorites, but I, for one, really have enjoyed this color. So just focus on the product, please. Thank you. I really have enjoyed this color story specifically. I love her take on the pastel colors. Basically, all of these colors are gorgeous, and I've used this palette to death during, you know, the bright summery and springy days. I had lots of fun. There's a couple of colors here that I don't feel have as much impact as they could have, but still amazing. This is all obviously a companion palette for your neutrals and all of that, but I had so much fun. I had to bring this to my favorites this year. Now, a brand and a palette within that brand, but the brand is Oden's Eye. I got to know them this year and I fell in love. I think this is one of the best freaking brands in Europe, at least, making amazing eyeshadows, and I can't rave about them enough. And when people talk about very expensive palettes, very beautiful shades, I think people are missing out on something a bit more affordable that is as good as those very expensive palettes. Oden's Eye has very highly pigmented eyeshadows that are very easy to blend out. So they're not that kind of thing that stays patchy on the eyes. You can create high contrast looks. You can create very monochromatic-y, very monochromatic-y looks, and the shimmers and metallics are absolutely incredible. High shine products. Super amazing payoff that you won't be digging your finger into the shadow looking for the shine to show up on your eyes, they will be there. This one that I'm showing you is the Angelica Nyqvist Hella palette that she did in collaboration with Oden's Eye. It has recently been not sold out, that's not what I mean, discontinued, because it was a limited edition palette, and this is by far the palette that I've used the most this year, because this stayed on my vanity. Although I kept all the other palettes on rotation depending, you know, on the season, this one has something for every season. You have some neutrals here, you have some more murky colors that can do some more grungy or greeny autumny shades. You have very bright pinks and bright greens for summer. And you have this row over here for the winter time that gives you all that rock star glam that I love, smudgy, sparkly shadow. Oh, it's so beautiful. This is an amazing eyeshadow palette. If you got it, you got it. You had almost a year to get it. So if you didn't get it, it was because basically you didn't want it. The other ones that are were also limited edition, and I got my hands on them. I couldn't care less if they were limited edition. It's the Christmas special edition palettes. This is the Merry Christmas, and this is the Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is what I'm wearing on my eyes right now. This color story is unbelievable. It's cool tones done right, and again you have the high shine, high impact, high pigmentation, but easy to blend, easy to work with, perfection. And this is the Christmas Day palette, which is, you know, your cozy reds and greens and all of that. It's beautiful. I can't wait to play more with it. I just got them fairly recently, so I haven't had lots of time to work with them or to play with them, but all the eyeshadows from one end to the other, you don't get a dud on a palette, you know what I mean? And this is the one that is still available. It's Solmona 2 palette, which is pastels but not quite. You still get lots of depth on this area here. It's such a beautiful palette, and one that I had so much fun playing with during summertime especially. And you get the most gorgeous looks with these. I haven't had a bad makeup day with these eyeshadows, and I think Oden's Eye is a brand to keep your eyes on. If you're into indie makeup brands, even if not, if you really like high quality eyeshadows, keep your eyes on Oden's Eye. And if you don't like very colorful palettes, this may not be the brand for you, but otherwise, if you want to play with color, this is the one to go. The last palette I want to talk about is, for me, the bargain of the year, and I cannot believe the price of this palette, because this has nothing to do with good for the price. I've mentioned this palette as in, this is just like Oden's Eye, but Oden's Eye is a bit pricier, although it's not the price of luxury and high-end palettes that you see mainstreaming about. This is even more affordable, and the quality is impressive. This is by Comic Brushes, and it's the Serenity palette. And you can see here you have 20 colors, and the color story is absolutely incredible with greens and blues and purples. I don't understand this edition here, but that's just me. There will be people that will come up with amazing combinations using this peach, bright neon peach here. But again, the quality, like Oden's Eye, is otherworldly, and it's a fraction. Also, Oden's Eye is a fraction of the price of mainstream luxury brands that perform just as good if you're lucky, but most of them, I'm looking at Huda for instance, doesn't hold a candle to these. But this specific palette was 25 euros or pounds or something. Yes, you add a bit of shipping, but come on, this is high quality. The mattes are amazing. You can pack them on, you can blend them out, you have high impact shimmers. Everything is perfection within this palette, and it's super affordable. And Cosmic Brushes has been working with very small batches, so they release the palette, they run out of stock, and then a couple of weeks or maybe a month or so later they will re-release and restock the palette. Then it sells out again, and this is the dance that we've been watching throughout this year, and everybody has been gone bonkers with this palette for a reason. Again, if you like, and you've seen my selection of palettes is all about the colorful shades. I don't have a neutral palette here because these are the ones that really made my jaw drop this year. The Serenity palette I think is still available. If it's out of stock, they will restock it soon. So keep an eye on it because it's an amazing quality, and I can't wait to see what Cosmic Brushes has in store for us. I was really taken aback and by surprise, and I was so happy I tried this palette because this green here, my friends, what's with me and the greens first, and this green here is absolute perfection. This purple, this periwinkle, this high shine blue, this petroleum kind of blue. I've been playing with these colors non-stop, and I'm one of those people who mainly does a one shadow or a couple of shadows on their eyes and don't do very intricate combinations, but it's so much fun to have this amount of variety and quality to play with. Super excited, super chuffed. Highly recommend. Oden's Eye, as a whole, highly recommend Cosmic Brushes Serenity palette, and can't wait to see what they bring out next. And I had so much fun with the Natasha Denona pastel palette, I had to keep it here. So, final section is lips, and I have a few lipsticks that I wanted to, oh shoot, my foot. Are you focusing on my face? Please be focusing on my face. What's wrong with you? Okay. Last section, lipsticks. And I have a few lipsticks here that I want to talk to you about. Let's go from sheerer to highest color impact. Let's do that. Let's start with this one. This is the most affordable option, and I really love this formula. You know I love Colourpop lip oils. They're fantastic. Nobody's talking about them, but you're sleeping on them. And this is the glowing lipsticks from Colourpop, and these are glossy lip colors that look very beautiful. You can't see the high shine, but I swear to you they are quite glossy, super comfortable on the lips. They have a whole myriad of colors. I have 3 shades in this formula, and they feel really comfortable. You can blur them out a bit. They don't have to be all high impact color. You can blend them out, and they feel super comfortable on the lips, super hydrating. And I think it's one of those formulas that nobody's talking about. If you're planning on doing a Colourpop order soon, give these a try. Next up, jumping up on the scale of pricing. Again, because of that Sephora US order, I got to try Merit lipsticks, and I was kind of on the fence if I was going to like them. I actually really like them. I love the texture of these. These feel like lip balms on the lips, but they don't feel that gloopiness that some lip balms have. These don't have them. These are sheer colors that are so flattering that I really wish I had all the colors from Merit. I have Slip in 1990, and I really like this formula. It's weird. It's different from everything that I've tried in a good way. These are thicker and stay on the lips better than the luxuriously lucent lipsticks from Lisa Eldridge. So they have a bit more of thickness to them in texture, but they have that sheer finish with the color payoff, and they last on the lips, and they're not glossy. They have shine, but they're not glossy. They're very special. I understand the hype. I really like them. I know Sada doesn't like them. I'm very happy with my Merit lipstick. And then Meet Me in Berlin by Lisa Eldridge was the color of this year for me. I am so happy I was able to pick this up. This is a luxuriously lucent formula. It's a thin formula. It feels creamy, don't get me wrong. It doesn't feel weird. And it gives a bit of a shine to the lips. Again, not too shiny. Sometimes I wish this was a bit more glossy, but this color is everything that I wanted. I really like brownie lips and brownie lipsticks, and this color was what I thought Painterly would be, if you remember Painterly. This is hands down one of my favorite colors of this year, and I've been using it non-stop. Again, just wipe it on the lips, you're good to go. You don't have to worry too much about it. Now, for more high coverage, I have two formulas. One of them I may not have mentioned on my channel. This one is the Tony Moly Shocking Lips, Perfect Lips, Shocking Lips, these names. And these are lip stains and lip tints. And you apply this and let them set, and you can reapply if you want more color, even more color. And these, my friends, do not budge. And I've shared the story about this specific color that I've applied on my lips. Before going to dinner, I spoke and I ate and I drank, and then when I went to bed, I tried to remove this. This wouldn't come off, and the next day, halfway through the day, I still have some leftover lipstick on my lips that wasn't going to budge. So this is high staying power. This does not come to play. Just be aware of that. And it's super comfortable. When you first apply them, they have a bit of a glow to them, a bit of a gloss, but then that fades. And they're very similar to the Fenty lip stains that came out this year, which are really good. But I think these have more staying power on me and the way that I use my lips. These are far more long lasting. They have different colors, so either or maybe, and these are fairly more affordable, or used to be at least, so keep that in mind. And last but not least at all regarding my lipsticks is the Kaleidos. Is it called Cloud Paints? It has cloud in the name, and especially this shade, which is Mahogany. This formula is super special. It looks like a liquid lipstick, but it has a bit more of silicone to it, so it has they're far more comfortable than a normal lipstick, liquid lipstick that sets onto your lips and creates that film that clings onto them. This doesn't. This is more has a bit more slip to it, more comfortable, and you can blur them out and blot them out, and they give you just a hint of color to a full impactful, in this case a brown. And I've tried the blurred, lips trend several times to no avail, and with these, the formula makes it so that it's really easy for me to achieve that effect, because usually when I try to do that, my lips just look like I've slathered lipstick out of the lines and it looks all wonky, so it's not good. But with these, it just looks like the trend of the blurred lips. On top of that, although this is a high pigment formula with a matte finish, this does not dry my lips out at all. Basically, they feel slightly dry at the end of the day, but with any matte lipstick that would happen. They're super comfortable, and they smooth out the lines on my lips in a way that most lipsticks, expensive or very inexpensive, don't. This is magic for the lips, and if you struggle like I do with lines on the lips, this is a good one to use. Just putting it out there. Finally, I have two tiny accessories that have really made an impact in my makeup life, so I wanted to share them with you. One of them I've mentioned on my Spain haul when I went to Barcelona. This is the Revlon thingy that absorbs the oils on your face, the little roll-on with a rock. And this was all over TikTok and stuff, and I wasn't very convinced, but this works so well. If you are oily like me, this is an amazing little thing to keep in your pocket to blot. The only thing is a bit bulky. I would like it to be revisited and redesigned to be less bulky, but it does work. It really absorbs your oils. You don't have the waste of having blotting papers, although toilet paper blots your face. Let's keep it real. But this really does that without taking in any kind of product out of your face. It just doesn't lift any product. It's really easy to use, and I've been using this all throughout the late summer, early autumn that we had that was really warm. I was using this almost every single day. Loved it. And the final thing, and if you stayed till the end, here's a treat. It's this ring palette from Danessa Myricks. I'm in love. I'm in love. This may look stupid and ridiculous, and why are we spending money on that? But this is so handy. You know, when you mix your foundation on your hand, you mix your foundation with your highlighter, those kinds of mixes, even mixing lipsticks to create your colors or whatever, you can do that on here. And the good thing is, because this is metal, this doesn't absorb any of the product. There's no heat from your hands drying down the product or meshing with the product in any way. It stays, you know, true to its consistency for far longer. It doesn't dry out. You can do your mixes in here. It's super practical, and you don't, if you're like me and we have problems with our brains and sometimes you forget to wipe off your hand after you've done your makeup, you know how it goes later down the line when your sleeves start to get grubby because you forgot to wipe down the makeup from your hands. Well, this you can't forget. You just take it off. You're not gonna go out with this. You just take it off, set it down in your bathroom counter to get cleaned in later on, and you're good to go. And I do all the mixes here. Of course, this is great for even the Danessa Myricks color fixes because those dry out, especially if they're in contact with the skin, but on the palette, they last a lot longer. So this little baby has been a gem for me, and I'm so happy I bought it. I know this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, I know. But my friends, if you tend to mix makeup or just use your hands to apply, you know, your concealer and foundation and pick from there, check it out. Just check it out. On the next Danessa Myricks sale, just grab it. Trust me. You will thank me later if you still remember where you got the tip from. And that's it, my friends. These were my makeup favorites for 2022. If I have influenced any of your purchases this year, let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about it. If you think I forgot about something, also, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I did, I don't know. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, you know how it goes. And more than anything, have a great holiday season if that's what you celebrate, and I hope you are well. Take care of yourselves today and every single day. It doesn't have to be special, but around the holidays, you know, it's tougher for some people. So here's my huge hug, and thank you for spending your time on me, and I'll see you on my next video, probably next year. Bye.